Today, I don't have any co-hosts. I know, I'm sorry. There's no Savage with me. I made an Aang versus Korra the other day, and as another day, I mean the other month. The reason I initially made that is because, for one, I had apparently hot takes on the matter, and two, so, I mean, without further ado, you already know what it is. You saw the title.
It's Avatar Aang versus Avatar Korra. I'm ending this debate today, once and for all. And the answer might surprise you. It surprised me. Being as objective as possible because, well, I am the objective geek.
We're gonna hold to that.
By the end of this video, you should be convinced of my conclusions, or not, but to be thorough, I have to break this fight down into three different fight scenarios.
Okay, objective.
One where the Avatar state cannot be used, a second where Korra still has a link to all of her past lives, and a third where Korra has lost the connection to her past lives. In all these fights, it will be Aang to the current point in the comics, and Korra wherever it fits. Scenario number 1, no Avatar state. First, let's compare the ability to bend 4 elements for each Avatar. Fire. Firebending is the element Aang probably was the least adept at. He was hesitant to firebend due to its destructive nature, but he would learn the real meaning of firebending from the masters Rin and Cha. That being said, he was far from a master by the end of the series, and it's not confirmed that he mastered it in the comics.
The whole idea of mastering is so subjective. Iroh says that Zhao and Ozai are masters.
Very well. It's a shame your father won't be here to watch me humiliate you. I guess your uncle will do.
Prince Zuko, have you forgotten what happened last time you dueled a master?
I will never forget.
And Zhao gets beaten by, like, the beginning of the series Zuko, who we know is not a master. So master is so subjective. Also, technically, there was a commercial that did say that Aang mastered all of his elements.
You're in the Avatar state. Now, feel the power. This weekend, see the one who mastered them all. It's Aang at his bending best, controlling the elements. Nicktoons in the Avatar state. Best of the Benders weekend.
If I was true and Zhao was a master and Ozai is a master, then there's a big gap. I mean, shoot, if Zhao was a master, I personally believe that Aang's firebending at the end of the series, or like he said in the comics, is better than Dooku at the very beginning of the series.
You have yet to master your basics. Drill it again!
And again, I really don't care about master. The Dai Li were masters and Toph was handling them. They're both masters, but, you know, who's better? Toph or the Dai Li? And even if it did, Aang has a lot of reasoning to say that he's a master. Ozai is stated to be like the most powerful firebender ever. He's the Fire Lord and everything. In Aang versus Ozai, Aang is like multiple times blocking Ozai's fire.
Firebending by the age of 17, she relies on the element heavily throughout the series. Between the two, Korra is without a doubt the better firebender. Air.
Whoa. Can we get a replay on that? Can we get a replay?
And it's not confirmed that he mastered it in the comics.
Hold on. Okay, starts at 137.
Between the two, Korra is without a doubt the better firebender. Air.
10 seconds. He explained Korra's firebending in 10 seconds. And Korra won. The only... Okay, what was his reasoning?
Korra mastered firebending by the age of 17.
That's it. It's over. Let me just show y'all something that's actually really funny that I just saw recently. First of all, obviously in my video I brought this up. Aang is used to learning new bending moves easily. Obviously just talking about water bending, but it's common practice for Aang to just be a prodigy. If you look at Aang's feats compared to Korra's,
wowzers.
yeah, she trained more time with it. Now we can see what that training time did for her. Just remember, we're holding into an objective standard. Objectivity, their training time doesn't show anything. It's reasoning. Just because someone has more training time doesn't mean it's a fact. Okay?
Air. When the series started, Aang at the age of 12 was already an airbending master, having invented the technique of the air scooter.
Yep.
That being said, I do think his airbending became much stronger as the series went by. As for Korra, she was so spiritually weak at the beginning of the series that she couldn't airbend. After she was able to airbend though, she would use the element to great effect, using it far more offensively than defensively. And Korra was trained by none other than Aang's son, Tenzin. The question of who's the better airbender though is easy. It's without a doubt Aang. Water. When it comes to waterbending, Aang picked up the element quite well. He was trained by Master Pakku and later Master Katara. I would gather by the end of the series, he was at least very close to being a waterbending master.
He was a master.
Being that Korra comes from the Southern Water Tribe, she is naturally gifted at waterbending. She was also taught by Master Katara. Unlike Aang, Korra has the healing abilities, so she's a master of this element as well.
Okay.
Earth.
Whoa, wait. So who won?
The world may never know.
I agree Korra wins in water. But first of all, Aang is definitely a master. Definitely a master.
Tara.
Oh, can I just point out something as well? This is a debate settled. So, firebending took less than a minute to finish. It starts right here, and it ends right here. The debate was settled in 30 seconds. I must be doing something wrong, because my video was like for everything was like 50 minutes long. Wait, how long was this?
Unlike Aang, Korra has the healing ability.
Okay, this is where it ends. Here's where it starts. Again, 30 seconds. This man, 30, going crazy. He must have something big for, oh, look at this. You see that spike? Oh, is that the creators? Yeah, something big coming. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Earthbending was tough for Aang to do at first, but after a while, it became a common element that he would use often. In his training with Toph and his fight with Ozai, he displayed his ability to use seismic sense. Like water and fire, Korra mastered earthbending by the age of 17. She learned metal bending from Suyin Beifong, the daughter of Toph. The choice of who the better earthbender is was much harder than I thought. Korra is confirmed to have mastered the element of
But wait, whoa. You can use the same exact reasoning that you said for water and fire for this. She was training with this for like years, since 5, right? So it's like a decade. If she wins fire off of that alone, she should win this off of that alone.
She's a very good metal bender. Though Toph said that Aang could use more practice to master, he still displayed some great earthbending, and he also knew seismic sense.
But he's not a master,
At a minimum, it is a draw.
What?
But since I have to choose who the better earthbender is, it's Korra.
Whoa. Decade of training time, which we all know instantly means Korra's better. Metal bending, Korra's way better. Now, obviously, if you watch my video, you know I'm lying. Because Aang's feats are just so much better, it just doesn't matter. Again, the training time just really doesn't matter at all. And then metal bending, it's like okay, but then there's the fact that like Aang has seismic sense, Korra has metal bending. Metal bending is a lot more populous than Aang or whatever. But okay.
Mostly due to her aggressive nature in which she bends the element and her ability to metal bend.
I don't think being aggressive is a good thing for Earth. It's better to be like more sturdy, not more, you know, whatever. And plus, Aang is like, he adapts to the elements. Like a lot of people like to say, you know, his personality didn't work for Earth, so he's worse. But we see him like adapting to that element like perfectly, like he acts like an earthbender. Korra displays this one personality consistently between all of her elements, whether it be air, whether it be water, and even earth. Like water, she's more of a waterbender than like just, you know, her firebending type. But she still like incorporates a lot of her aggressiveness into all of her elements. Even air, which is a pacifist element.
Now looking at their fighting styles. Aang being born an airbender and mastering the elements so early, he tends to favor airbending tactics.
Whoa.
And her ability to metal bend.
Did y'all
now
hear
looking
that?
at their fighting styles.
Listen.
Aang being born an airbender and mastering the elements. That being said, he was far from a master by the end of the series, very close to being a waterbending master, though Toph said that Aang could use more practice to master.
That was legitness! Yeah, it was.
Early, he tends to favor airbending tactics, often circling his opponents using Bagua and evading his opponents, usually looking to cause the least amount of damage and simply knock out an opponent. Korra's fighting style is very aggressive, never focusing on evading attacks, but instead fighting her way through them. She aims to finish opponents with no regard for their health. It's also important to note that Korra is a great hand-to-hand fighter and is physically very strong. So this fight would be most interesting. Aang would be very evasive, but still attacking Korra with less powerful attacks than she would. Korra would...
Based on what? Like, based on the fact that, like, that she mastered them? Because for airbenders, the way they master it is by knowing a set amount of skills or making a skill. Nothing to do with power.
Be headstrong and leap right into battle, fighting her way through Aang's attacks. But while Aang is hard to pin down, it's not impossible. He has been bested by opponents less quick than him before, and Korra would be able to do the same. Korra has the advantage bending-wise, seeing how she is arguably better at bending 3 of the 4, at least 2 of the elements than Aang, and she's able to use them efficiently.
No. Did you hear what he said? He said she has the advantage bending-wise because she has 3 over Aang, at least 2. If she has 2 over Aang, then that means Aang has 2 over her.
In an offensive manner, Korra would definitely take a few blows, pun intended, from Aang.
This was that. Did
offensive
you see that?
Manner, Korra would definitely take a few blows.
This was the first season. This was in. I'm so sure. This was in the first season, bro. And his Aang got more powerful over time. He beat an entire volcano.
She would be able to take them, but once she laid a solid hit on Aang, it would be much harder for him to bounce back. In the Q&A, when asked who'd win in a fight,
here we go.
The creators had some thoughts.
Here we go. I think by now y'all are starting to realize where I got everything I was arguing against. There's a few arguments that like I argue against that he doesn't bring up, I don't think, but most of them is what he brought up.
And I feel like 9 times out of 10 Aang would just get away. There's always that one time Korra like gets a hold of his like cowl and then just beats the crap out of him.
So there you have it. If the creators had to choose who to win in a fight between Aang and Korra, they would choose Korra. And who knows the world of Avatar better than them? You can watch the whole Q&A video in the link in the description.
What? No. I was literally looking for this video. I spent a day looking for this.
It's Avatar Aang versus Avatar Korra.
Look, we don't agree on a lot of stuff you're saying. But genuinely thank you. I've been looking for this.
So Korra wins the scenario of the no Avatar state.
You know what's funny though? What's also funny is he only brings up the bending abilities. He never thinks to bring up the stats. Like, I mean, he says like if Aang took a hit from Korra, it would take more to recover. Based on what? Like nothing, bro. Just like explain. Like this is the objective geek. Trying to be objective as possible, but you're giving arguments with no reasoning behind them. Even if you want to say Korra won, sure. If you want to say Korra wins, I'm fine with that. It's why you say Korra wins that really matters.
Of the no Avatar state. On to the next one. Aang versus Korra with past lives using the Avatar state. So this would be Korra right before her fight with Unavatu. First, let's define what the Avatar state encompasses.
Good. I'm glad we're doing that. But don't get it wrong, because what Roku says isn't the only thing.
As Roku tells Aang,
okay.
The Avatar state is a defense mechanism designed to empower you with the skills and knowledge of all the past avatars.
Okay, I'm gonna let it finish.
The glow is the combination of all your past lives, focusing their energy through your body.
Okay.
In the Avatar state, you are at your most powerful.
Okay. So, in Avatar Extras, it stated that also power goes through them. In one of the books, I think Aang says it actually, that you get all of their power as well. So just keep that in mind.
So in a matchup between Korra and Aang with using the Avatar state, it's clear who the winner is. It's Korra. By this definition, the next Avatar is inherently always stronger than the previous one using the Avatar state, because they would have the skills, knowledge, and energy of all previous avatars, including the one they are theoretically fighting.
Okay, you already know my argument against this. It depends on if you want to say in character or out of character. I think he's using in character though, because in base form he was talking about how their personalities, which are inherently in character. If me and you, we're doing a versus battle, and the characters are me and you. Okay, well, let's say we both have an AK-47. Now, we both have 30 round mags in there, okay? We can use up to 30 bullets. In character, I consistently always use 50. I have the potential to use them all, but consistently throughout my story, I've only used 15 bullets. Now, let's say you have, everything is the same for you, except you always use 30 through 15, right? Now, in character, you would win. Why? Because even though we have the same potential, everything about us is the same. The thing that differs us is that I use 15, you use 30. So you're going to win. Now, if this is out of character, then the fact that I can means that I'm going to. Let's imagine any of these guys fighting against, I'm talking about Suseto. We see him erupt 4 volcanoes. Yang Chen, she has an island level feat. She's blowing a forest or whatever. Pause. Kuruk in the novels destroyed an entire island. Kyoshi moves an entire island, and Aang is Aang.
Because they would have the skills, knowledge, and energy of all avatars, including the one they are theoretically fighting. Now, I know the argument for Aang winning in this scenario very well. People say when Aang goes into the avatar state, it's way more powerful and epic than Korra's. And I fairly agree with that. If this was a competition of which avatar had the greatest displays of power in the avatar state, Aang would win. But it's very important to note in most of those times, Aang is not in control of the avatar state. Also, the thing about the avatar state is that when it's controlled, it only uses the right amount of energy.
Never stated. Never stated. Never, ever, ever, ever stated that's the case. Never stated. And he doesn't give any reason
for the task.
We just watched this part.
It does this to not risk the avatar dying in the avatar state. The avatar state that Korra uses in...
The fact that they're in the avatar state at all is still a risk to the avatar state dying. If they have this power and they're able to go more and they use the amount of power that they need to win, why did Korra lose?
In this scenario, it's the exact same one that Aang would use, but add one more lifetime of skills, experience, and energy. So, Korra is the winner.
You cannot win.
Yes,
Scenario 3, Aang vs. Korra with Link to the Past lives severed. Scenario, both avatars can use the avatar state, but Korra is handicapped, seeing as she does not have her previous past lives to gain energy from. So, there you have it, Aang wins. But
agreed. Okay, we can move on. Wait, why is there still 3 minutes left? That's it.
Wait a minute. Maybe he doesn't. Just follow me here for a sec. The avatar state is, without a doubt, the culmination of all the avatar's past lives. But there's also more to it. The avatar state is also the manifestation of Rava, the light spirit. We see both Korra and Wan use the avatar state to great effect when each had no past lives to gain power from. We also see in Book 3 of Avatar The Last Airbender that Aang still has a connection to his past lives and he can speak to them, but he can't enter the avatar state. It is admittedly difficult to quantify just what portion of the avatar state is due to Rava and what part is due to the past lives. But we can conclude past lives are not necessary for the avatar state to be all powerful and provide a power boost for.
It's obviously the power boost part, no duh, but how much it is, yes, that it completely matters because it gets all the power from them.
The avatar. But you might say, so what? Rava is in Korra. She was also in Aang. The thing is, there's a literal big difference between the two. When Rava permanently fused with Wan, she was this very tiny small spirit, while Vaatu grew to be a giant. Their relative power levels are like two sides of a seesaw. When one is small, the other is huge, and vice versa and in between. When Unavaatu ripped Rava from Korra and killed her, he transformed into a giant dark avatar. Korra then bent the energy within herself and astral projected to a giant and destroyed him. And when Korra reunites with Rava, she is Big Rava again, the absolute biggest and most powerful she could ever be. In comparison, when Rava is inside of Aang, she is significantly smaller. Korra, having a deep connection to Rava, can tap into the vast amount of energy Rava provides that can rival the power she held when she defeated Unavatu, or even greater. Like, just imagine a massive light avatar version of Unavatu. I find it hard to believe that Aang, even with all of his past lives and the avatar state, could beat Korra, who is fused with a fully powered Rava. So,
why? How was that objective? Why do you think that? Based off of what? It's a thing of like, let's take let's say Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta goes against Super Saiyan 1, but Goku has a Kaioken amp, right? We don't know how much the Kaioken amp is. It could be 1, could be 100, could be 181. Are you gonna like say that like, well, you know, what power, how much power the Kaioken gives him? I find it hard to believe that would beat Super Saiyan 2. Why? It very well could.
So, Korra wins the scenario as well. But besides the result of this fight, there is a very interesting takeaway from it. Because Vatu would start to grow again inside of Rava, Rava's power would start to slowly lessen. So, theoretically speaking, Korra is the strongest light avatar there ever was, and the strongest light avatar there ever will be. Emphasis on light.
God damn. God damn. I didn't know he sucked Korra off that hard.
I know for many of you, Korra winning even one of these scenarios is highly far-fetched, but I think it makes perfect sense on many reasons, and especially story-wise. Korra's...
Oh wait, he's gonna get into a narrative argument. But, okay, let me see that. Many reasons? You gave one reasoning for each element. And then, for this, he gave the Rava argument. Didn't even look at the fact that Aang has 10,000 fucking years of experience.
Korra's journey is one of starting off as a young, rambunctious avatar who wants to prove herself to the world, who was physically and naturally talented, and she was always looking for a fight to prove herself. And she grew into a woman who didn't punch first, but instead reached out a hand, a woman who would sacrifice her own self for her enemy. She grew into a really great avatar, just like Aang. Pretty sure that's not the answer that a lot of you had.
Oh, whoa. This is a narrative argument. Let's talk about Aang. Korra wanted to prove herself. Aang wanted to save the world. Korra wanted to prove I could be a good avatar too. You know, everyone looking at Aang. Aang stopped the 100-year war. He came back. He beat Ozai with a 100 times. He beat the Fire Lord, but I want to be cool too. And that trumps. I want to save the world.
Alright, did I convince you? Who do you think will win? Honestly, I don't mind disagreements. I just love the discussion. Or let me know what your favorite...
But yeah, so in conclusion, what did I agree with? She beats him. Korra beats Aang in water. Sometimes she beats him in out of character. Like 95% of the video I disagree with. Like wholeheartedly too. So yeah.
Solar Flare!